The boardroom has a dress code, and for 10 years, I followed it to the second. I've always been a Swiss movement guy, an analog purist. There's a specific ROI to a mechanical watch. It's a handshake before you even open your mouth. It signals precision, tradition, and the fact that you don't need a glowing screen on your wrist to go that you're running late. For years, I've looked at smartwatches and saw administrative overhead. I saw another battery to charge, another distraction, and another piece of glass to baby-proof. I hated them. Then, a friend handed me a Pixel Watch 3 for Christmas and told me to conduct a lifestyle audit. I went into this expecting to confirm my biases. I expected to tell you that at over 30, I'm too old for haptic buzzes and step counters. But after taking this into the field through high-stakes conferences and the chaos of the 5 p.m. Toddler Lockdown, I have a confession to make. My analog watches have been officially benched, at least temporarily. Today, we're auditing why smartwatches, and in my case, the Pixel Watch 3, is the tactical advantage that I didn't know I needed, and why my Swiss movements are currently gathering dust on a shelf. The first real stress test happened at a couple recent conferences that I've attended. If you've been in the corporate world, you know the drill. Back-to-back meetings, networking, and a consistent stream of high-priority pings from the office. On an analog watch, you're pretty much flying blind. You're checking your phone every 3 minutes like a nervous intern, which is the fastest way to lose a room. It breaks context switching. But on the Pixel Watch 3, I had immediate liquidity of information. I could feel a subtle haptic on my wrist, glance down for a quarter second, and see it was from a calendar shift, an urgent message from a client, or more importantly, from my Ring camera because Amazon finally delivered that package that my wife's been waiting on. I could stay present, but informed. In a boardroom or a meeting setting, your attention is your most valuable currency. The Pixel Watch 3 allowed me to stop spending my attention on my pocket and start investing it on the person sitting across from me. It's a filter for the noise of a 9-to-5 life. So with that in mind, let's talk about the operational security. I use a Pixel 9 as my daily driver cell phone. It's a great machine, but it has a specific bug I find where it decides to go off duty without my permission. Sometimes it's a missed vibration. Sometimes the ringer just doesn't feel like ringing. In my world, that's a system failure. When I'm 9 to 5, I'm expected to be on duty. If my wife calls with an emergency or my boss pings me for a quick sync, I don't have the luxury of saying, sorry, my phone was in my pocket and I didn't feel it. The Pixel Watch 3 has very quickly become my redundancy protocol. It keeps me honest. It mirrors the notification on my phone with a haptic that's impossible to ignore but subtle enough to keep professional. It bridges the gap between software and my senses. And for a professional parent, this isn't just tech, it's a failsafe. It ensures that my security clearance is ever compromised by a pocket-muffled ringtone. Now, with that initial use case validation or revelation, we need to address the getting older reality check when it comes to the value prop of these smartwatches. When I was 22, health tracking was for marathon runners and people who ate kale for breakfast. Now that I'm over 30, my body started issuing its own maintenance reports. My back has a weather forecast, and my knees have opinions. The Pixel Watch 3 brought something to my wrist that I didn't think I cared about: health telemetry. The heart rate monitoring and the stress tracking, which, let's be honest, is usually just a toddler-induced cortisol meter, have become essential data points in my day-to-day. Quick sidebar, I got a stress alert while my son was refusing to eat his peas. The watch told me to take a moment to breathe. I told the watch that I'd love to, but the peas were currently being weaponized against the husky. The responsiveness is really what wins out for me here. The smartwatch doesn't feel like a toy, it feels more like a diagnostic tool. As I get deeper into my adult years, I appreciate preventative maintenance alerts a lot more than I appreciate the moon phase dial on a Swiss watch. It's about keeping the professional parent in peak operating condition. If you travel for work, then you already know the unfamiliar city dance. You're walking out of a hotel, looking at your phone, trying to figure out which way is north, and essentially painting a target on your back for every tourist trap in the zip code. The Google Maps integration on this watch is a huge tactical advantage. Walking through a new city with directions on your wrist is a heads-up experience. It keeps you aware of your surroundings, and it helps you maintain your situational awareness. I can navigate a 3-block walk to a restaurant while keeping my eyes on the environment and not the phone in my hand. For a traveling parent and professional, that level of security and ease of use is a high-yield feature. It's subtle, it's integrated, and it makes me feel less like a traveler and more like an operator. But on this channel, we take the good with the bad, and so we have to look at asset liability. This watch has an energy crisis. We're talking sub 12 hours of active battery life, and that's being generous. This is where Swiss movements win the audit every single time. A mechanical watch doesn't care if you forgot your USB cable at the Marriott in Chicago. With the Pixel Watch 3 in particular, you really have to make a strategic choice every night. Do you want the watch to track your steps during the day, or do you want it to track how many hours you hit REM sleep at night? You can't comfortably have both without a very specific charging window, which in essence makes the watch a high-maintenance asset. So are smartwatches or the Pixel Watch 3 a daily driver? For me, no. When it's the weekend and I'm off duty, the analog watch comes back out. I still value the craftsmanship and lack of pings. But for the 9 to 5, for travel days, for the high-stakes on-duty parent, it's a tactical essential. It's the administrative assistant that I didn't have to hire, mostly because Gemini AI is supported natively on the watch. My advice for the busy professional parent is buy it on sale, or buy the previous generation. I got the 3 when the 4 is already out, and these things are iterative like iPhone, so basically there's no difference, or real difference, between the generations other than a little bit of extra battery and a couple nice additional touches. Don't pay the early adopter tax, wait for a discount, use it for work or travel, and treat it like a piece of mission-specific gear. It's not a replacement for your soul, it's just a better way to manage your time. I'm the Naptime Dad, thanks for watching, and remember, the only grinding we do is for coffee beans. I'll catch you in the next one.